Patreon and nobody wants to show up besides you and not you and myself. Loyalist, like I said, generally does show up on these. He's usually here to kind of hold the fort when I gotta get up and go occasionally,
Right.
because these usually, we usually have 9 people in here and we're talking and we're here till 3-4 hours, so
Absolutely. I know the last 2 weeks there's been at least 9 people in here at a time. So
but this is basically what we do on Patreon. All Patreon members have a link that is sent to them a half an hour prior to going live, where they could come in like Tom here and join when they are a member of the Patreon, and we just come in and we talk about whatever it is that's on our minds from the past week, from the last time we was here. Sometimes, most of the time, as of late, it's about how shitty the Colts are. But and but occasionally, we end up talking about other guys and other stuff, other teams, not just other sports, other Thanksgiving, like past
food.
Thanksgiving happened. Yeah.
Yep.
Absolutely. So hey, what's going on, Jeff? Appreciate you in here. So here's the deal. Okay, so my Thanksgiving, I didn't have a traditional Thanksgiving meal, right? My father texted me, I don't know, 4 days prior to Thanksgiving and said, "Hey, I'm gonna get everybody together. We're gonna go to Bob Evans as a family and do that." And I was like, "Okay." And we get there, and there's about 17 or so of us, and the parking lot is completely and utterly full.
I believe it.
And Dad was like, they would not take reservations, and I was like, what'd you expect? It's Thanksgiving. So then we go to KFC and it's closed, and I'm like, there's no fast food chain that's going to be open on Thanksgiving,
right?
So I call up Cracker Barrel, and I'm like, hey, there's about 17 of us. You got room? And they were like, well, right now there's no wait, but we don't take reservations. And I was like, no wait, we'll be there in a minute. Right.
Right.
So we drive about 20 minutes to get there. Parking lot completely so full that there are people outside in the parking lot directing traffic. Okay. Employees of Cracker Barrel directing traffic. It's so full. I'm like, what the hell? So I was like, screw it. I pulled in and I walked over to the maitre d' or whatever she's called, the front greeter girl.
A little hostess.
Yeah, the hostess. And I'm like, so I called maybe 20 minutes ago, said I had 17 of us, and you some way said there was no wait and you'd have us ready. And she was like, I don't know who would have told you that. I was like, I'm not kidding, and I'm not lying. We got 17 of us sitting out here in the parking lot, hungry and pissed, and so she's like, give me 5 minutes. Let me have your phone number. I'll text you when we're ready. I no more than get out the damn door, and she's following me back out saying, hey, we got a couple tables. We put them together. We got you set up. Come on in.
Great.
And I'm like, awesome. And I was like, there was people in front of me. She said, yeah, but someone came up to me and said that you did call. So we're going to put you at the front of the line.
That's awesome.
Like, all right. That works. So that was my Thanksgiving. Okay. Oh. And it was a good Thanksgiving. Like I said, there was 17 of us. One server, she had help here and there, right. but I mean, 17 of us, I would assume $60 was a fair tip in a situation like that.
Oh yeah.
Since the bill was right around 200,
right.
Yeah. So
that's more than 10. That's more than 15%. You're good.
I would hope so. Hey, we got another guy joining in here. What up, Jack?
Hey, Jack. What's up, Jack?
Hey, we got another guy joining
in. Oh, I could hear myself in the background, though, Jack.
Yeah, hang on a minute. Let me get this.
All right.
There we go.
How's that?
There we go.
I can't hear Lawrence.
Yeah, because I thought I muted you and I muted myself instead. I'm slow. I'm slow right now.
That's okay.
I'm really hungry. Haven't eaten today. I got a turkey in the oven, because I didn't do the Thanksgiving like I was just telling everybody the traditional. So I'm having that Thanksgiving today. So I got a turkey in the oven. And it's been there since 4. But it smells good as hell.
I was going to say, I bet. There's
Yeah.
nothing better than that smell. Nothing better.
Oh, but
well, I'm glad you had a good Thanksgiving, though.
Oh yeah, I got to hang out with a bunch of family that I haven't seen in a while.
Well, you didn't have to clean up or do any dishes or anything like that. So, there you go.
Yeah, absolutely. So Toxic, appreciate you being in here. Thanks. I'm glad you're here. So how was your guys' Thanksgiving? Jack, how was your Thanksgiving? Did you get to find anyone to hang out with? Tell me you didn't get a TV dinner turkey meal. You're muted. You're muted. There we go.
All right. Okay. No, I went over to my sister-in-law's house, my wife's sister, and and met her, and her brother came over. This is what we've been doing it for years. Going over, over to her house. So we just continued on with it. Had a really nice day. Ate some barbecue.
Nice.
And
there you go.
Some smoked turkey. And brought a bunch of it home.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's the best part.
Yeah.
Oh, we just lost Jack for a second. And then he got muted again. I don't.
There you go.
I don't know what's happening there, but okay. But anyhow, no, I had a good Thanksgiving. And if it hadn't been for the Texas Aggies, I would have had an absolute losing weekend in football.
Oh, right.
For college and pro.
Right.
Absolute losers. So thank God for the Aggies, who knocked off LSU. My oldest brother is an Aggie, so I'm an Aggie fan first, then an LSU fan.
Yeah. Okay.
So it's kind of like I'm a Colts fan first, and then a Ravens fan.
Oh, all right.
And then a Saints fan.
Yeah.
And they all lost. We lost. And everybody else.
And to make it worse, the Cowboys won.
I knew there was something I was forgetting. So yeah, thank you very much, Lawrence.
Yeah, thanks for reminding us of that.
And I guess the only other thing saving grace was Michigan beat Ohio State.
There you go.
So
that was good. I enjoyed that.
Yeah. Back when I was a kid, my friend's dad played at Michigan back in the late 40s. He played center at Michigan, and I got involved all the bowl games back in '68. We came back from Guam when I was 11 years old. I got really kind of into all the games, all the bowl games. And these were the classic. This was O.J. Simpson was playing for USC back in the Rose Bowl back in these days. And so Michigan, I think the Wolverines are kind of cool. Hell, a lot better than the Golden Gophers of Minnesota. See, I still support the Colts. I still got my Colts mug, my Colts coat here.
Absolutely.
I hear you. I got it. I got you.
I've been a Colts fan since always have. I've never strayed from being a Colts fan. I will die a Colts fan. Good or bad, Dad said a long time ago, anybody can ride with a winner. The true fan is the one that goes through, like what we're going through.
Yep. All the ups and downs.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
What's up, Doc?
How you guys doing?
Doc.
Good to see you again, Jack.
Yeah, it's good to see you. Where the heck you been? Well, I've been here.
Oh man, it's just appointments and stuff that pop up.
I hear you.
And
Yeah,
you guys know how the military is. I mean, they ask, can you make this appointment? And it's like, you will be there.
Yeah. It's really
Even
not
as a civilian.
It's really not a question.
Never is.
No, it's still an order, basically.
Well, with retirees, we're at the bottom of the list. That's overseas. They put retirees at the bottom of the list, and active duty and dependents are on the top. So if they give me a date, I have to be there, or I'm not getting another one for another month.
Ew. So, were you ready to destroy your guys' TVs when the first half of the Colts game got over with this past Sunday? Because I was I don't even want to be here no more.
I was ready to jump off the balcony from 618 down to the lower level.
Right. I hear you, man. It's bad. What's up, hashtag?
What's up, guys? How you doing this evening?
We're doing okay. We're doing okay. How was your Thanksgiving there, buddy?
I never want to see another turkey again, ever.
I got one in the oven right now.
Oh, nice.
But I didn't have a traditional turkey Thanksgiving for Thanksgiving, so we're gonna have ours a week later.
Oh, okay. That works.
Yep. But yeah, we're just kind of hanging out here. What's up, Dennis Douglas? Appreciate you guys being in here. Again, like I said, this is live. As you see, people are slowly starting to kind of trickle in now. It's basically how Patreon only streams run. But if you want to join, come in and join in the conversation and stuff on future ones. The link to the Patreon is in the description. It's only $5 a month. And you get to join this every week, which I'm not saying it's a, oh my goodness, but at least you get to come in, a little extra content, get to give your voice, occasionally. But
It's Olympics.
Right. See, we all had completely different weekends than what hashtag had. All right, because we're talking about a Bills fan here.
Oh, I watched it. I'd like to propose something to the league that we stop talking to these coaches right at halftime if their team is not performing to their level of expectation. Because Jeff Saturday looked like an exhausted president after 3.5 years,
right,
in office. You know what I mean? He came off. He's like, what do you need to do? And he's like, we're not executing. What
do you mean? What do you mean? What do we need to do? It's pretty easy to see what we need to do.
What are you blind? But you suck.
Anything but what we're doing right the hell now. That's what we need to do.
Yeah, I agree with you. Hashtag absolutely.
Oh my God! It's just sometimes I just get a little, just let the guy coach, let the guy do what he needs to do. And I got to tell you right now, as being an outside observer, I've seen it completely. I've seen a turnaround in the Colts as far as their attitude, their approach toward the game itself, and how they try to fight in every game. And they lost the last 2 games by a total of 8 points. How can you fault the team for that? Right. You know what I mean? I know we hate moral victories in the NFL. But I think, they got a little bit of spice to them now, So I don't know if you guys see that. I'm saying an outside observer looking in. That's what I see.
What's funny is the difference between what you saw in the first half and then, just walking out at halftime and the Colts look like a completely and utterly different team, right?
Yeah.
And you think, well, that's Jeff Saturday doing some kind of, halftime speech. It wasn't. Apparently, it was Zaire Franklin who stepped up and called everybody out in the locker room. And he's not, he's the guy that's stepping in for Darius Leonard this year, at Mike. So that's kind of really, he is a team leader, but he's, he was named that as special teams leader, right? But still, he goes out there, he does a fiery speech, tells everybody, what the hell are we doing? Blah, blah, blah. They come out and just wow. The first, 5 minutes went from every Colts fan going, the first 5 minutes of the second half was the difference between every Colts fan going, I'd like to either turn off the TV or go home if they're at the game.
Yeah.
To
True.
we got a shot, right? You know, I mean, after 5 minutes and we got like 10 points on the board finally, you know, and it looks like we are starting to take over control of the game. It looked like what we've been seeing, where this is a second half team, and it has been all year long too, which is upsetting. Why can't you play a whole game? That'd be nice, just once. At least the offense, anyhow. The defense seems to play like 99% of the game.
You know, they're 10th in the league now, as far as points against. I mean, you talk about a team that had been written off by a lot of the national media as far as, you know, okay, you know, you're firing the offensive coordinator, then you fire the head coach, and you bring in a guy in that hasn't coached at all, but probably knows more about football than the entire team. And who's been associated with the team in a bunch of other different capacities. So you're sitting there going, okay, you know, and then, you know what? But I'll tell you this, though, the mindset of different teams is the ability to make changes. And I think that's where the upside of the Colts is. The ability to make adjustments and come out at halftime and perform better in the second half shows that you are out prepared, like you're out scheming the other team in the second half. And I think that's a positive bright spot that can't be overlooked for the Colts team.
I want to bring this up. Dennis Douglas talks about how about that you know, Dallas Flowers busting out, and I think that's interesting because Dallas Flowers was the guy who had like the 90-yard kick return, right?
Right.
And before he did it, Isaiah Rodgers was doing kick returns, and he was getting 30, 35 plus yards every time on his kick returns. And, you know, everybody was questioning why in the world wasn't that Rodgers instead of Flowers? And because Flowers is a rookie and undrafted, and apparently Rodgers was like, give the rookie a shot. And then the rookie goes out there and does that, right? Yeah. So, you know, he says, I remember being in those shoes, you know, and just wanting a chance to make a play to make myself stand out. I got that chance, and now I wanted to give it to somebody else, and bam, Flowers stood out, definitely.
I don't know if they told him that you are going to return this kick. I don't care where it goes, unless it goes out of the back of the end zone, or whether he decided he was going to return. Because I don't think anybody on the field, when they saw where he was catching the ball,
8 yards deep. Yeah, he was 8 yards deep, and I know
that's what I'm saying. I don't think anybody's expecting him to come out except him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think
that's how he got. That's how he got through what he got through, and then it was just a foot race.
I think the opportunities for guys like that are so few and far between in the NFL that he wants to try to make a mark. And he, you know, I bet you Saturday when he ran out on the field, he's probably like, let's get a spark. Let's get something going here. And that's what he does.
Right.
That's what they did.
It happened.
But it just looked like that he was coming out with it regardless.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So,
but I will say this. There's a question up here. Joey Nichols, can the Colts beat Dallas in Dallas?
I'll tell you what, the Colts can beat any team in the NFL.
Yeah,
they really can. They really can. It depends on. They got to stop shooting themselves in the foot every game. That's why they lose. We beat ourselves. The other team does not beat us. We beat ourselves. And that's the frustrating part.
And it's the little mistakes, little penalties that we get at just the wrong times. And I mean, sorry, JT, but putting the ball on the ground, 4 games now? That's wow.
Yeah, JT fumbling at the 1 yard line, that happened.
That was crazy. I mean, that
he literally was going to make the end zone. He was going to make it on that run. And I think what happened was, he got a little ahead of himself and closed his hands too early instead of letting it hit his chest, hit his breadbasket.
Yeah.
He was ready to go because he saw the hole and he's like, woohoo, I could tie the game or take the lead right here, and no.
Take your eye off the ball, as they say.
Do you guys think that's being a creature of habit because the offensive line play has been subpar this year, where he trying to get the ball as quick as possible to make a move in the backfield, or do you think that was just he was so excited that he had so much green in front of him to get it to basically walk into the end zone?
I mean,
which one do you think that was?
Both.
I think a little. I don't think it was the excitement of the fact that because let's face it, he is kind of a patient runner when it comes to waiting for holes to open up and then hitting it with everything he's got.
Yeah.
I think what you said originally of the holes just hasn't been there as much lately this year, and when he saw it, he wanted to get there before the hole closed up.
I think it was a bad exchange.
Yeah.
I mean, that could
that's
be
what
it
I think.
too.
That's why the fumble happened. It was a bad exchange that time. I'm not excusing him for the others. I've watched that over and over again, and
Matt
it was a bad
perfect.
exchange.
Matt placed it perfectly. It's just he closed his hands on it too fast.
To me, it looked like Matt was actually rotating the ball as he was putting it in.
Well,
there.
you're supposed to.
And from what I know, you put it in there like that, not
but you
like that.
You got to make sure when you place the ball in that the threads ain't on the outside of the hands, right?
Okay.
Because that at that point can grab and make when you clasp down on it, that you could twist the football inside the grasp and then you could lose the football. So it depends upon when the ball was snapped to him. He has to adjust that football on the handoff as he's handing it off. Very similar to how, a kick holder has to, do that whole spin thing. Same way with a quarterback. Yep. Same way with a quarterback on a handoff like that.
I just want to say a couple things as far as asking the question about Dallas. Is the fact is this: number one, as far as like I said, and once again, I'll give you the outside observer. No one's really expecting the Colts to do much.
Mm-mm.
I mean, the Chiefs game, it seems like it was last year at this point. All right, so you're at Dallas. You're not expected to win. What does that mean? Fake punts, reverses on kickoffs. You guys could throw a lot of things at the wall to try to upset this Dallas team. But the other thing is this: Dallas is jockeying for positioning in the NFC.
Mm-hmm.
They don't care about if you're going to lose something. They say this all the time. If you're going to lose a game, you're going to lose to the other conference because it doesn't affect your seeding.
Right.
It may affect your record, but it doesn't affect your seeding. Does Dallas want to win it? Yeah. Are there no such thing as trap games? I believe that. There's no trap games. There's not enough games in the NFL for them to be trap games. But what I'm saying is with a bye week coming up, I mean, Indy could throw anything and everything at Dallas that they want and still have a week to come back when they have to play at Minnesota right after that. So as far as it goes, Dallas may not be expecting that. I mean, after coming off a win against the Giants, they might be exhausted. They might get beat up a little bit because that was a battle. So you never know what's going to happen from week to week. They could come out and start firing on them and actually have a hot first half without Dallas expecting it. So who knows?
The only thing about that, the only thing about that is Jeff Saturday has been adamant about keeping plays simple for the Colts, so he would have to give the okay to draw up a few of those out of nowhere plays to have in, I'm sure they're already drawn up, but just have them in the ready and practice them a little bit this week in order to do, because they're not going to run a play that they hadn't practiced all week. I'll guarantee that.
Oh, 100%.
I want to see a flea flicker.
He could use that to his advantage.
A double reverse.
Yeah, come on. We got Nick Foles. We can do the Philly special.
There you go. They would never expect that.
He's so much like nuts and bolts and trying to get fundamentals into his players.
All right, here we
could be
go.
like, oh yeah, he's not going to do this. Oh wait,
right.
I don't think we have to rely on the razzle dazzle because we didn't get Philadelphia and we only fell short by 1 point.
Mm-hmm.
Wasn't that the game where Matt Ryan was face masked?
Yeah.
And if they'd called the face mask, the Colts would have won that game, and nobody expected that because Philly. They had one loss at that point, or they might have been undefeated.
They just lost their first game.
Yeah, they just lost. That was a heartbreaker. That was a heartbreaker.
Also, Houston, 2 weeks before that, Houston gave them a hell of a game. So to say that the Indy doesn't stand a chance in Dallas is just ridiculous to me.
No, I they have a chance. It's just it's hard to look at it as they're going to win the game. You know, that's the thing.
Well, it's kind of like
so.
Philly. We can't make the mistakes. If we don't make the mistakes, we don't have the turnover. We'd have won the Philly game without a doubt.
But the problem is
we can't do that against Dallas.
The problem is name a game we haven't done that in.
Well, I know.
That's the problem. Yeah.
The whole key to the whole thing has been we just cannot make these mistakes.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And how we went from almost leading the league in turnovers last year, we're leading the league in giveaways this year.
And the least amount of, I think we have the least amount of interceptions. I think we've only got 4.
Shit, I think that's the least amount of turnovers, don't we? I mean, we haven't had many.
We haven't had many turnovers at all.
No.
And that's crazy. Whereas, we're top 10 right now in sacks as a team, but we can't get turnovers.
It's crazy.
Yeah,
that's true.
How many sacks did the team have last year on
many.
defense? Maybe
Not
around
many.
12 is what I'm thinking. DeForest Buckner had what?
Well, no.
Between 6 and 8 by himself.
No, the Colts had more than 12.
Okay. I'm probably wrong on that stat, but last year the defensive line play was just abysmal.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Now it's opposite. It's the offensive line.
Yeah.
Let me get this right here.
How you doing, Matt? It's good to see you
I'm
again.
doing good. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
My chili came out nice.
Good.
Thank
That's
you
good.
guys for
No problem. That's what I'm here for.
I told my wife there's a chef in the group, and so if I got to cook something, I want to talk to him before I do anything.
Hey.
Colts had 33 sacks as a team last year.
Really? I had no idea.
But they were only 7th worst in the NFL. They were 7th worst. Yeah. 7th worst. The most was 55, and that was the Steelers, which, kind of expect that.
TJ Watt.
Yeah, he had a third of that.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
20 of them.
Didn't hear diddly out of TJ Watt during that game.
We had 33 sacks last year as a team. We got 31 right now as a team.
Oh, man. It's just, I thought it would be like night and day, and it's not.
Good Lord. Talk about
I had no inclination.
Break. Just cannot get a break.
No, the defense isn't the problem this year.
No, it's not.
No,
and
no.
What's funny is the last couple of weeks, the offensive line has played better. It's like you talked about. They're shooting themselves in the foot. You got drops, you got turnovers, you got all penalties. It's just stupid mistakes that they're making.
Yeah. That's.
And why did I'm sorry. Why'd he go?
I don't know. We
did
lost
he say
him.
anything, or he just,
Mario?
Yeah.
Oh, Mario just left.
He just
Here.
X'd out.
All right. But yeah, and they've been doing that all year. It's always something. It's bad offensive line play, or drops, or penalties, or turnovers, and that's been holding us back big time.
Absolutely.
Now, last week, the first couple drives, it was just bad execution. It was just they looked bad as an offense the first couple drives of that game.
They should have been executed.
Right.
That was terrible. That was absolutely just terrible. How do you throw a freaking interception on damn near a screen? It's like, holy crap, your kid. Look. Okay, I'm gonna get this off my chest. I know I mentioned before more than once about I hated that we're playing Pittsburgh because we can't beat Pittsburgh. Okay. I didn't go back and look. I don't want to. But, the last time I remember beating the Steelers, we lost to them in the playoffs, Vandershank.
Yeah.
That playoff, at the end of the playoffs there. So we beat Pittsburgh that season because I was actually working with my brother in-law finishing up a remodel job. And by the time I got home, it was halftime. So anyway, other than that, I don't think we beat him since Terry Bradshaw was a freaking rookie. Okay, because we lost to him several times in Baltimore to the Steelers, and we have lost several times as the Colts, as the Indianapolis Colts. I mean, you know, the Harbaugh Hail Mary at the end of the game, and that it was 95, 96. We lost to him again in the first round because we were so beat up that we didn't have a chance. That's the year Jaguars had Super Bowl.
I want to say this real quick with King Cracker saying the D will play great all game until it counts, and then they can't make a last stop to win a game. That's completely false. That's completely false. All 4 wins the Colts have had this year is because they made a stop to win the game. And you know, you just can't rely on your defense to win your game week in and week out. That's not that's not how football works. You know?
Most of their games they haven't let in a touchdown. I remember the Patriot games. They didn't let in the touchdown. It was a pick six, and because of special teams in the offense that the reason it was they were touchdowns to let in on the Patriot game. We couldn't get in for nothing.
Yeah.
We were only letting in field goals.
Yeah.
So that's actually not true.
The defense plays well. There's been twice where they failed. Out of the 6 times when the game was in their hands, twice did they fail to live up. So they've actually done their job 4 out of 6 times, which is 2/3 of the time. I would say that, you know, they're doing their job. At some point, the offense has to step up and win a game for you. You know, I mean, that's just
we did have about 4 quarter comebacks there at one time.
Yeah.
Which one of them was a tie, I know, but I mean, you know, otherwise 3 of them were you know, last minute 4th quarter comeback. So it's kind of been a tale of 2 cities, but there again, it all goes back to not making those silly damn mistakes and turning the ball over. Bingo.
Okay, so Toxic says Ngakoue was a fine. How long did we sign it? We didn't sign him. We traded for him. He's on a 1-year contract. At the end of this year, he can be re-signed or he could hit the free agency. Really, honestly, it depends upon who the head coach, whether Gus Bradley's here or not, I think, is whether or not Ngakoue will stay with the Colts or not. Because it seems like Ngakoue follows Gus Bradley wherever the hell he goes.
Yeah, well, you're right.
All right, Lawrence, answer me this. We talked about the defense not failing. Okay, we haven't talked since last week. We didn't have this because of Thanksgiving. So, on that last drive in the Philly game, what the heck happened there? That looked like the Red Sea parted, and both teams they went to the sidelines.
Did you watch? Yeah. Did you watch the Believe show where I asked Rodney that specific question? And
no, I didn't watch it.
We have never seen that happen on film before. And that setup for them to run a quarterback draw, you know, and so they weren't ready for it. And the 2 situations, both of those were set up for the linebacker to make a play on something like that if it happened. But the problem was, one, Okereke did not have a lot of time to react. He was on the other side, and, you know, he got blocked out immediately by the pulling guard. And then Zaire Franklin got caught watching the tight end because they're playing a little bit more sticky zone, especially in the red zone.
Right.
And so he has to keep an eye, not just on the quarterback at all times, but he has to keep an eye on, you know, anyone running through his zone. He happened to look and watch the tight end to see where he was going. And as he did that, Hurts just went right there, right up the gut, right where he was supposed to be able to fill the hole. It was just a damn good play by Philly at that point. Yeah. It looked bad though. I mean,
it did.
It looked bad.
Well, it looked good for Philly. I mean, it looked good. You know, they ran the play just exactly like it was designed to.
I heard Defo took the blame for that when he said that was his fault.
He got because he took he didn't realize
he said something.
what the play
He said
was.
something about He said something about everybody in the building knew it was going to be a quarterback draw except for me, and that's on me.
That's bull because none of the other players said they even that it was completely unexpected, right? That I mean, even Rodney was like that was utterly unexpected. We didn't expect that because when we did our film on the Eagles and watched every play of the year, they never ran that out of that setup, in that situation, in that setup. So when he runs a quarterback draw, it's usually a different way that's going about it. So it did hurt that Defo ran out wide, because and the guard that was, or the center was on him, didn't even have to try. He was just like, all right, just keep going, just follow you around.
When you were at that, when I was at the game and you just watched it, and it was just like the split right down the middle, and they just, okay, let's go to the sidelines. Just both sides were just give this 20-foot lane right to the end zone. It looked bad. It did. Like, oh my God.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe it.
But they couldn't. They had to protect against the pass, because if you just let someone walk right into an open spot, it's an easy pitch catch for a touchdown.
I'm saying this: the defense that game, the defense played great. Who did Philly play last week? It was on Monday night or Sunday night. Who did they play?
Monday night football.
God, I watched that game too. Why can't I think of it?
Pittsburgh.
Who did they play?
Pittsburgh.
No.
Pittsburgh.
Was it Pittsburgh?
No, Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
Wait. Who are you talking? Oh, Eagles?
Yeah, yes. The Eagles. Who did they play last?
The Eagles.
The Eagles play the Titans.
And they ran all over them. I mean, Jalen Hurts, he had 170 some yards rushing.
They had over 300 yards rushing as a team.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, the defense when we played them.
Hold on.
Played great.
Was it the Titans?
I don't think it was the Titans.
Green Bay. It was Green Bay last week.
Green Bay. Yeah. I'm sorry. I forwarded it a week. I had it forwarded a week. Yes, you were correct. Green Bay.
Green Bay looked terrible.
Won. The passing looked at you're right. They were looking like
rushing.
Yeah, the passing looked bad. I think Rodgers had some broken ribs or some really some bruised ribs or something, because when he got hit, you could tell that he was really grimacing once they got hurt. So he possibly, because he was only making like 20-yard or less passes. And then when he got hit, he came down. You saw Love, and everybody was open, and Love was going down the field, and it was too little, too late.
So the thing is, I see that the chat is really kind of changing over to the draft and quarterbacks right now. So I'm going to bring that up a little bit. I'm not saying anything about who the Colts should go after or anything of that nature, because the season's not even over with yet. But here's a situation where Gerard was talking, and him and I were discussing in the show that I just posted earlier. There's not any quarterbacks that he feels right now that's coming out of college that's going to be in the draft that could not benefit from sitting behind a veteran for a year. Like they're not. He don't feel like they're NFL ready.
I can go with that. But after a year,
maybe. But right now, like, these guys are not ready for going through 3 and 4 progressions before they take off. They're used to going through the 1 and 2, maybe 2 progressions. And if it's not there, go. And you can't do that.
Yeah, I noticed that. Yeah, I noticed that. I noticed that. They're ready to run and gun. They're ready to run and gun. They don't go through their reads. and then maybe go if the play's not there. They don't stick in that pocket. They're ready to roll. They're ready to go out there almost like a Lamar Jackson. They're ready to get out and go, where it's better to go through those progressions. Then maybe if someone's coming right after you, then you go, or you give it to the running back or something like that. But you don't just go. Yeah, I noticed that. I was watching USC quarterback, and he looks good, but he's like ready to get out and run that ball, Yeah, but he looks good when he passes the ball, and if he just goes and gets through those reads, and I think he'd be a better quarterback. But if in an NFL linebacker was coming in on him, and he has that ability to dart out of that thing, he needs to get through those progressions, those reads.
Absolutely. Guys, if you're in here and you haven't hit that like button yet over on, regular YouTube right now, you guys watching this on YouTube, make sure you tag that like button for me. I'd appreciate it. Again, this is basically our weekly Patreon stream, but we're doing it public on YouTube so you guys can see what we do on a weekly basis. Generally, we missed last week because of Thanksgiving. But weekly, we just come in, hang out, talk about whatever. Roche Joe asked a question: preferred coach if available next year. I haven't thought about it. I have not went that far. I haven't seen enough of Jeff Saturday yet. He's made his first real mistake in my eyes so far through a couple games now, and that's something you learn from. You've never been a coach before. You learn that. Let's see if he learns from that in a future situation. But I want to see what Saturday does the rest of the year before I even think about, which coach we're going to go get. There's some coaches that people are out there saying we should go get that I'll shoot down right away, like Gruden.
Oh, please no. Oh, no.
No. Gruden, he ain't served enough of a penalty for what he was doing. So. Yeah. He needs to be banished from the NFL, period. Just my thought. That was all just, oh my God, good Lord.
If Saturday doesn't make it, I wouldn't mind him.
San Francisco 49ers.
I wouldn't mind Brian Flores. I wouldn't mind to see him try to.
You want a defensive-minded head coach?
Yeah.
Well, we heard what Matt was saying. He Googled something with voice, and you're about to say the same guy. I know it. You're going to say the same guy.
Oh,
DeMarco Ryans. Yes.
DeMeco Ryans.
DeMeco.
Yeah.
San Francisco's been pumping. They have got some defensive coaches they had for a while. I mean, you figure Saleh as well. Their defensive line coach is a beast. I wanted him as our defensive coordinator this year, but so that it.
Well, see, that's the thing. I like Parks. I like Parks Frazier, but
I don't know if he's ready to be a head coach.
He's no. But he's still running the Frank Reich offense.
Yeah,
he's still that's the playbook right there.
Yeah,
I really think we need a new offensive coordinator that brings in their own offense and can establish an offense.
Actually, from what I'm understanding, what Parks Frazier is doing, his playbook is a mixture of stuff that he has known from Frank Reich, plus the position coaches, the running back coach, the offensive line coach, and Reggie Wayne have all put tabs in on what plays are in that playbook that he's running. So it's not solid Frank Reich playbook. I'll just let you know that up. So that's something, because he said, I've never done this before, and I wanted to make it more of a community thing to where we all kind of have a word in on it, and we all work together to get this playbook right. I'm just calling the plays while I'm out there. The playbook itself is drawn up from all the offensive position coaches.
Well, the first half of that Steelers game, it didn't work.
Yeah, it was bad execution. I mean, I can't really call bad. One drive where they did not. I think it was the second drive where it was pass, and then punt.
Right.
I wasn't happy about that.
It's like give the ball to JT.
I think what it was was the first down. They went past and was going for a deep shot, and it was dropped. Right, if you remember,
Right.
a certain rookie dropped it,
Right.
and that put him at second and long. And at that point, they were hoping, well, now we're at second and long, and we got to make it manageable third down. And he went pass and then pass again. I think So it is what it is. You're going to have drives like that where something fails and it puts you in a hole. But
I tell you who stood out in that game, and that was Jelani. Oh my God!
Oh, that was Jelani that dropped that football in the second one. That was his first. Yeah, you were talking. Yeah. He dropped that first one.
Right.
Thanks, Dennis. Thank you. Again, it was a rookie though. But then after that, oh my goodness, dude, Jelani. Well, he had over 100 yards, didn't he?
Yeah, he was a beast. He had was it over 100, like 89 or something? But he had 8 catches or something?
Yeah.
He had at least 8, yeah.
He was a beast.
Yeah, he was.
Absolutely, he was.
But that's on the practice report today where he didn't practice again. He didn't practice. Did he get hurt again? Did he hurt his shoulder again?
He's been dealing with that injury for a few weeks now. So,
right.
And today, it's Wednesday. It's a walkthrough. So it really didn't matter too much anyhow. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So, but Woods ain't even on the list. Why? Dude, NFL.com is ass this year. There's times where the teams don't even list a quarterback. I mean, that threw the football. Like, come on. Hold on. Let me look this up again.
Well, the Colts released their practice report, and he didn't practice today. He did not participate.
Yeah.
So.
I understand that, but there it is. 8 catches, 98 yards.
Yeah.
So, yeah, pretty much. And led the whole team. I mean, Michael Pittman Jr. averaged 8.7 yards a catch. Jelani Woods, 12.2. I mean, he's the only guy that got over 10. So, that's good. You know who leads the team in rushing right now, yards per carry?
Matt.
You're going to say Matt Ryan or something.
Ryan.
Yeah, I knew it.
When he said yards per carry, I'm like, I know it's Matt.
And Matt Ryan. Why ain't he getting more draw plays?
I get, man, I'm telling you. He's a secret weapon there.
Hey,
I'm sorry, but Matt didn't look good in that Steeler game. He did not look good.
Well, the question that I had that I put to our good friend Joe, and he couldn't answer it for me, was why did TJ Watt have such a quiet game? And so somebody from the Colts was blocking him, but who was it?
It was Braden Smith.
Braden Smith had himself a solid game.
Yeah,
Plus, occasionally there was help with chips on the outside, like when Jelani or Moali Cox was out there. They would help chip him before they'd go out, or when Jelani was out there. For the most part, you were watching Jelani stay in and do pass protection more than go out or not Jelani, but Mo. Yeah, Mo was staying in most of the time and helping with pass protection. So that was actually a smart game plan, because the guy that really wreaked the most havoc was Highsmith.
Yeah.
Because you didn't hear TJ's name at all the whole game.
Yeah, those guys in the Discord, when I was watching the game with them, people started hollering, "How come we're not seeing more Jelani?" And I think he's helping out with controlling TJ Watt. Mm-hmm. And they're like, no, TJ's on the right side. I think TJ lines up where he wants to, where he's going to get the most penetration. Because I thought Bernard Ryman would have a bad day. But
I thought Ryman actually played pretty good for the most part.
He only had one penalty, so.
Well, yeah, and he gave up a sack.
It wasn't a hold call anyway.
But overall, it was. I thought, for being a rookie and a guy that's only got 2 years experience playing tackle, played pretty good. That was a really good experience for him. We should have been able to do something on offense in that situation. Even with the pass protection that we had, there was a lot of situations, situational football where you'd have, batted pass or a little bit of pressure where Matt had to step up into the pocket. But that's, that's what a tackle's supposed to do. People sitting there talking about, well, Highsmith almost got to him like 8 times. That's what a tackle's supposed to do, is push him out wide so the quarterback can step up into the pocket and avoid that, whenever the edge rusher runs like that. So, Lyman actually did pretty good. He got beat one time on that speed rush once.
Overall, I thought the O-line played a good game, but it was almost like Matt, at least especially in the first half, it was just like he was feeling steps. He was feeling the pressure, and he tried to get rid of the ball quicker than he had to. He was almost rushing it, and that's what it looked like to me anyway.
There was two of his sacks, 2 of the 4 sacks that he took were covered sacks. The Steelers secondary were playing above what they had played all year. They played a very good game. And Bernard Ryman was a tight end before he was a tackle. So just let you know. But yeah, I think there was a little bit of issues. I think I think Matt Ryan is starting to get a little bit antsy feet. I am noticing.
That's what I look.
Powers,
that's what it looked.
Yeah, Powers is talking about it too, where because there was a pass to Michael Pittman Jr. over the middle where he threw that sucker on a rope. I mean, it was a rope, and I was like, "Wow, where'd that come from?" And I realized he had both his feet set, and he threw it. And then you look at that 30-yard pass downfield.
Right.
He was still stepping sideways and backwards when he released that football because he didn't have his feet set and he couldn't throw it with any power. He's having problems. He's afraid to set his feet because he feels like he's got to be on his toes at all times because of how the offensive line has played all year. He's going to have to learn to settle back down, and the only way to do that is keep playing and get that trust of the offensive line back.
Well, that was the confusing part because in the Philly game, he looked really good. And then this game, it's like he reverted back to, before he got benched, where, like you said, he wasn't setting his feet. He was throwing off one leg and just, it didn't look good.
Yeah, I think, like I said, it's also the pass rush for Pittsburgh is a lot different than Philly's pass rush, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Their outside edges on Pittsburgh is scary. Between Highsmith, who leads the team in sacks, and then TJ coming back, that was something that he was really worried about, I would assume, especially with, the troubles that they've had in the past against, those high-end pass rushers. So, but I'm not going to defend Matt Ryan altogether. He played poorly in that game. He did, right? And we definitely need to move on from Matt Ryan after this year, without any question. We definitely need to go out and get somebody, all right? Because he is at that point where, in my opinion, it doesn't matter if he finishes off the season strong or not. What's he going to look like at the beginning? I mean, we can't trust how he's going to look next year for a full season, All
right.
So
back to your question then you posed earlier. Yeah. If we go out and we get a quarterback in the draft that needs to sit a year, do we stick with Matt for that year and let that young guy, learn under Matt next year? Or do we say goodbye to Matt altogether, eat that money, and again, oh God, go out and get another one to come in, or use Nick Foles, or
the only way we get somebody in free agency, if it's something like, and I know I'm going to have mixed emotions on this, but no, Lamar Jackson. That, I mean, it is the truth though. Lamar, he's going to hit free agency unless Baltimore at the end of the season
puts a franchise tag on him.
Yeah.
They can franchise tag him for 2 years.
Yeah. That's the only way he won't hit free agency. But that's the only way. And I'm not saying I want Lamar Jackson. I'm just saying that's the only, and again, that would have a lot to do with who's the head coach at the time. Did we go out and get, a guy who's good at, those running style offenses for quarterbacks? Then maybe you go out and you try to go grab, Lamar Jackson in that situation. Like if we go out and get Harbaugh, which that name has came up a few times, So
I've heard that.
Logical.
But I think we need a mobile quarterback. I mean, that's just the way the game's going nowadays.
Yeah.
But they still got to be good at throwing the football from the pocket.
Oh yeah.
I mean?
Well, it's like your Josh Allen type here. Somebody that can stand back there and be a pocket passer, but yet if it breaks down, look, Andrew Luck. That was our Josh Allen, and we all know what happened there. But that's what we need. Matt Ryan is your old, like Peyton Manning, Tom Brady. Stand back there. Where he's going to be, and tee up and sack him. We got to have somebody that can away from that.
Toxic asks a good question here. If we lose Sunday, are we mathematically eliminated from the wild card round? Pretty much. I mean, we're not technically, but the best we could do at that point is 8-1. And there's no way an 8-win team is going to make the playoffs. Not with a 17-game season.
In the NFC, you would. Tampa Bay's only 5-6.
That's Tampa Bay, and that's that South, that NFC South team that's just god awful.
You're in the wrong division in the wrong conference.
You're in the wrong division if you're in the South, no matter what conference you're in.
Well, I mean,
as far as a good one,
the Titans have a winning record, so.
Well, the Titans.
But at this point, there's not a guarantee in the draft this year anywhere that I see. I mean, it's a crapshoot at this point. You could take educated guesses, but I mean, the last 5 years, half the quarterbacks that's been grabbed in the first half or in the first round have not panned out. So it doesn't matter. Yeah, and it doesn't matter where in the first round they're grabbed. If they're grabbed in the top 5 or grabbed in the bottom 5, it doesn't matter. It's just
it's crapshoot.
Take your best shot and hope and pray. You
haven't heard anybody lately saying, "Oh, this quarterback is the most NFL prepared since Andrew Luck."
I think Trevor Lawrence was really high looked on.
But I never heard them say. I never heard them making a comparison to either Andrew Luck or Peyton Manning or.
I did hear Andrew Luck comparisons here and there for Trevor.
Yeah, I did.
But they haven't comparisons this year for these quarterbacks coming out this year. I mean,
no. The only thing they got comparisons for is like Jalen Hurts and shit, or Kyler Murray.
Right.
Thank God I don't want a Kyler Murray.
Somebody taller. I'm sorry, I want somebody taller.
This is pretty funny. Lamar Jackson would be too expensive for Elon Musk.
You understand, Elon Musk is $200 billion.
And Lamar Jackson is still too expensive for him.
He might be able to afford him at that price. I don't know.
Oh, yeah. Oh, Joey B. You are absolutely right. We still got to take a stab at it. It's just, when it comes to that point, is it worth going up into a top 5 to go grab a quarterback, or do you feel like you have the same chances of sitting put at like 15 or something and getting your quarterback the way say the Patriots did with Mac Jones, or something of that nature. So you definitely need to grab a quarterback in this draft. There's no doubt in my mind. Even if we trade for a quote unquote sure thing, because there's no such thing as a sure thing on a trade. Go ask the Broncos. You know?
Exactly.
Thank God we didn't go after Russell Wilson. Oh, thank God. It could be worse.
How would you like to be a Rams fan right now? I mean, they're worse than we are.
That's saying something.
Yeah.
But they do have a trophy.
They were bad before that got hurt. It wasn't like they were tearing up the league to start the season. They were pretty poor then too.
ATV asked a question: would you guys get rid of Ryan and start Sam and try to get him some dangerous weapons like Tyreek Hill? I think we have weapons on the team. I think we have a lot of weapons on the team. Offensive line and quarterback has been the issue this year. Mostly earlier in the year, it was offensive line. But right now, we've got Kylan Granson, before he got hurt, was lighting it up at tight end. Jelani Woods is doing really good coming back after injury.
Phenomenal.
Paris Campbell has stayed healthy and shown why Ballard used a second-round pick on him. Michael Pittman Jr. Has been the most reliable guy we have, and he's that guy who could catch in traffic, and one-on-one. And Alec Pierce is still just dealing with, rookie issues right now. I think we have weapons. I know Joey's sitting there fumbling weapons. He wants us to trade Jonathan Taylor.
Oh, no.
What?
No way.
No.
I think, look,
JT needs to be a Colt for life.
Jonathan Taylor is one of those, in my opinion, rare running backs that even if it's not blocked up right, can take one to the house at any time.
Yeah.
And just because he has 4 fumbles on the year so far doesn't mean jack. There's last year, go look at how many fumbles, the top running backs outside of Jonathan Taylor had. Austin Eckler had a whole crap ton of fumbles. You guys have fumbles. 4 is generally about your average, what a running back has in a season. And we just weren't used to it because our guys haven't been fumbling the last couple years. But 4 is about average. I don't want to see him have any more the rest of the season, though. I will say that.
Well, and JT, he's going to take that personally. He won't do it. He won't. It was like that. What was it? That game? Not this game where he fumbled, but it was the Philly game where he had like 8 people surrounding him, grabbing at the ball. And they all stood him up, and he was still going 10 yards down the field before they ripped it out. But
and he was surrounded by 4 Philadelphia Eagles ripping at the football.
Right.
And when you got 4 guys, 2 of them being 300-pound muscle men that bench people twice your weight. At that point, you would just want your offensive line to quit pushing so that Jonathan Taylor could go down. Right?
He gets into that. He needs to get where he's got the back to the defense, got both arms around the ball, and he's just pushing with his legs. Because I sat and watched a couple of those plays, and I've seen JT do it in the past.
Yep.
Where he's got to turn around and he just keeps pile driving with those legs, but he's got both arms around the ball.
Okay, ATV 45. Look, let's say Tyreek Hill, I would not want to pay $30 million for a wide receiver. Okay, I don't think right now. No, especially a Tyreek Hill who's at his age with that kind of a contract. I would not give Tyreek Hill that contract. I don't care if he ends up leading the league in receiving yards. You get better deals overall somewhere else, and still find good weapons. I mean, he's doing great for Miami, and I'm glad that he is. But how long is that going to last for, right? When Miami 3 years from now is giving him $35 million because that's what the contract says, and he's 34 freaking years old.
And number 2, this year it's light. They're going to have to trade some people away. Let some people go because it's going to get big in the next couple of years.
Well, you think about it. Look at when KC let him go, everybody thought, oh my God, the Chiefs are going to be horrible. Look at the Chiefs.
Yeah.
They haven't slowed down a bit. So he's not like, that weapon
He's
that
not
they
missed.
couldn't lose, Does Marvin Harrison Jr. come out this year?
No.
Next year?
He's maybe.
He's a
might
sophomore.
come out.
He's a sophomore this year,
He
right?
might come out next year, but he's definitely staying this year. He's already stated.
Yeah, he's a sophomore this year. He's a sophomore currently, isn't he, or a junior?
I think he's a redshirt sophomore, isn't he?
I don't know.
But either way, yeah, he's not coming out this year. He may not come out next year. It just depends. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if he comes out next year. When we say next year, we mean the draft after this one.
Draft
not
after
next
this
year,
one,
because
yeah,
technically next year
2024.
is draft.
2024.
Yeah.
I'd love to see us get him. I would love to see us get him.
But
It would be fun.
we have, in my opinion, I think we have all three good receivers at the style of receiver that you need. You have a 50-50 guy, you have a burner, and the burner's not just a burner, but he's a tall burner with some strength, which we have seen, especially, the last couple weeks in Paris Campbell. And if Pierce can pull things together, he can be the major outside deep threat on the X. A 6'3" guy who could go high and go deep. He can be a number one receiver, Alec Pierce can, but he's got some developing to do.
A position.
And wait till Woods comes out next year.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, what'd you say, Tom?
Wait till Woods. Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh no, I was just going. What position should we go for with our first round pick?
Quarterback.
You think you still
quarterback? Quarterback.
Yeah.
If it's there, I mean,
if it's there,
don't go for a quarterback if the top five quarterbacks are gone. By the time you pick, don't grab a quarterback.
Don't move up.
You might as well wait till a second round to get him, and then use your first round pick to grab a freaking left tackle for competition with Ryman. Which, if you're grabbing him in the first round, it ain't going to be much competition probably. And then grab your quarterback later. I wouldn't sell the farm for a quarterback though either. I would not give 2 firsts, 2 seconds, 3 players, and shit like that to go get Bryce Young, because he's not worth that much, because he's not a guarantee. If he was a guarantee, then I'd say, yeah, sure, go ahead, try. Take your shot at him. But when they're not a guarantee, don't sell your franchise of your future of your franchise plus your players of your franchise for a maybe.
If you know you're going to get a Mahomes. Yeah, if you know you're going to get a Mahomes, then you trade for it. But
that's what kept the Browns down for so long. That's what kept the Jets down for so long.
Exactly.
Don't do that. Don't be the Browns. Don't be the Jets.
Where are we at currently? Are we 14th? Is that where we're sitting at for the draft?
Somewhere
14th pick. So
I'm not 100% sure. I don't keep track of that right now. Like I said, I don't really look at the draft until the season's over.
How many teams are we behind that are going to be drafting quarterbacks besides the Texans?
Oh, there's quite a few. There's
a lot of good teams that have got high draft picks from deals they made this year.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't think the Rams draft until what, 2040?
God, the Broncos might want to go out and get a quarterback. You never know. The Raiders, even with, I know, but they might try to trade Russell Wilson.
Oh God.
Yep. I want to trade him and get rid of the money. Yep.
Now the Raiders might try to go for a quarterback, even though Carr's there. Carr's not a young guy no more, right?
Yep.
The Panthers might. There's guys out there.
A lot of teams.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Oh man, I smell that turkey. It smells so good. I am so hungry. But something that we are definitely going to have to do, in my opinion, is third or fourth round. We need to go grab a guard for the right guard position. I absolutely feel like that's where we need to go to get that. Well, we got another Patriot fan in here, even though that's messed up, Ross.
Hey, gentlemen.
What's going on, man?
Ross, he's alive.
I am, unfortunately. Oh my god.
Don't say that.
Getting old is. I'll be better on that. I am happy I'm alive. Just tired.
Absolutely. I mean, you know what? Being tired, being sore, being hurt just reminds you that you are alive, you know?
Oh, absolutely. I've thrown out my back once or twice, so yeah, I know.
Mm-hmm.
If I don't get out of bed and go, oh, damn, that hurts, I'm starting to wonder, am I alive? Am I breathing? Okay.
Yeah. Unfortunately, the last 8 months have been all family related, so you know how that goes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel for you.
Oh, it's nice to see you all. Sorry I haven't been around much.
All good. We all know that life takes precedent, you know.
Like Jeff Saturday being your new head coach?
So far, yes, actually.
He's been entertaining.
Yeah.
I don't have
he's a no bullshit kind of guy. I like that.
I don't mind it.
I don't have
Scott here. I'm going to bring this up. Says, I just kept thinking about tight ends. We haven't much from them at all in this position that's important these days. Okay, so Kylan Granson has played very, very well, then got hurt. Okay. And you also got to remember that our tight ends are kept inside a lot for pass blocking this year because of the fact that, the offensive line has needed help. So that takes away a lot of those routes. But Jelani had a nice game.
He did.
And Kylan Granson has had really nice games too. So,
he's both had a couple of them.
Yeah. I like our tight ends. I like where we're sitting with our tight ends.
Giggle.
I just
don't forget we still got Ogletree sitting out there too.
Yeah.
Another one. Yeah, that's right.
Yep.
Again, the talent's there. It's just that O line and just the confidence issues.
Yeah.
Stuff. It's not easy. You don't win it in a year.
I was thinking, do we go after maybe a center in the draft this year?
No.
You still keep Kelly or trade him for
I think Kelly played a hell of a game last. Even hurt. I thought he played a hell of a game on Monday night. Look, Kelly had issues the first 5 weeks of the season, which also could have been the fact that who was sitting at right guard right next to him.
We won't mention his name.
No, once we settled in on that right guard and started playing, what was it? Fries?
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah.
Once we settled in on the right guard, he started playing much better. I feel like he's played a lot better. Now, could he be used as a trade piece?
That's what I've heard a lot is, every time you talk about trading a player to get something, Kelly's name always comes up.
I mean, it's possible. It's possible because Pinter, now, in my opinion, Pinter's not as good, but he's cheaper. But really, are you going to go out there and make your offensive line even a tad bit worse than what it already is? Even if it's just 1%, I don't like that idea.
I think Pinter actually he's a better center than he is a guard.
Yes, he's by far. I think he's a great backup center. like a top-notch backup center. And you want a top-notch. It's just like you want a top-notch backup quarterback in case something happens to your starter. You want a top-notch center because they're the guy who directs the offensive line and all that neat stuff, you know. And good God, you got to be able to make sure no one comes right up the gut to hit your freaking quarterback, because that's the worst thing you can do, you know. So having a good backup center is very, very important.
I mean, again, I would give my left leg for two new tackles right now on the Patriots right now.
And I'm not going that far. I said I like what I've seen from Jeff Saturday. I got to see the rest of the year before I'm like whether or not I want Jim Irsay to hire him as a long-term coach. You know, there's still plenty.
But right now he's a fun distraction on a season that would have generally been quite sad.
He's got our team out there fighting their butts off. You know, and I'll give him that much. But I mean, we still.
You know what he reminds me of? He reminds me of Campbell in Detroit. You know what I'm saying? Inspiring,
he's that kind of a coach.
fun.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah.
He is.
I mean,
Tony was at that game supporting Jeff. Tony was there.
Hey, it could have been worse. You could have picked up Josh McDaniels.
Oh God.
No, that was out of the question after what he spurned the Colts years ago.
Oh,
there is no way that he was going to be, you know, And I think, you know what? I think the last couple of weeks, Derek Carr has been like, all right, so guys, when we're on the field, we don't have a head coach. I'm your coach. You're going to listen to me. And they've been winning.
Shocking.
Yeah, because he did mention something about people in the other building.
Not hearing. Yeah.
That press conference he had where he was teary-eyed.
Yep. And people gave him shit for that.
Yeah, well, they gave him shit because I don't think they understood what the man was trying to say.
Yeah.
He was basically calling out the management.
Basically, maybe some players.
Well, I took it anyway. That's the way I took it.
Yeah. He was calling people out and hated the idea that he had to do that, you know, but it needed to be done, obviously, because after he called people out, they started winning.
Yeah.
You guys think you're going to pull a Cole Strange in the draft when that comes up?
Maybe, but it wouldn't be an offensive lineman. We might end up pulling a Cole Strange when it comes to a quarterback now. Because Ballard is that guy. He don't give a shit what other people say or what other people's boards are. If he feels like you're a first-round talent, he's going to use a first-round pick on your ass.
Yeah.
You know?
Thank you. Yeah. If you have a need and there's a guy there, just go for him, you know?
Yep. That's why, you know, we got Darius Leonard. That's why we got Braden Smith, because, you know, he thought they were, you know, first-round talents that fell to the second round. And he's like, I'm snacking them. Mine, you know.
Pittman.
Again, you can't worry about what the fans are going to think too much, because generally, like, half the time, most fans have no freaking clue what they're talking about, myself included. And the thing is that, like, Matt Ryan may not pan out right now because he's a new quarterback in a new system with a new offense. It could take a season or two for him to come around. You know, I don't think Ryan is cooked.
Season or two?
Season or two?
Yeah, 2 seasons not panning out.
Sure.
Well, again, that's a tough contract to get out of right now.
Well, I don't know, man. A lot of noise going on.
Oh, I'm sorry. That's on my end. That's my daughter. She just walked in the room.
Okay.
I'm live, so please
Family.
be quiet if you can. Yeah. She just gave me a dirty look. What do you expect? I have a 20-year-old daughter.
She can't see me, but
I've owned hoodies longer than that. Jeez.
Hell, yeah. I've got a lot of stuff that's older than that too, but I got a lot of stuff that's older than my oldest kid, and she's 22.
I got grandchildren older than your kid.
Well, yeah.
Oh yeah.
I've got a dad that's older than my kid too, but
I mean, I didn't have her until I didn't have her, but I didn't become a father until I was late 30s. Yeah. So yeah.
Oh my goodness.
I hear the joke, Lawrence.
Hey, I want to get you guys' opinion. Patriots game against the Vikings, was that a catch or not a catch? Because I thought by the new rules that was a catch. Does anyone
look like a catch to me?
I was just curious because I thought the rules were changed. As long as you have control going into the end zone, it's a touchdown.
That's the same way of yeah. I looked at that and I thought it was a catch because as soon as you have control and you reach the ball over, that play's over. It's a touchdown, right? That's the rule. That's why Kelsey against the Colts, they scored that a touchdown.
Thank you.
Exactly the same thing.
Thank you.
I was saying that in the game.
He was.
Buddy, I saw you getting heated during that game. You were so very heated.
So was Matt. If you were in the Discord,
I was pissed.
Yeah, he was using profanity, which is not Matt. Matt never uses profanity, and he was dropping F-bombs left and right, and he would not let it go.
Well,
and he kept making that same comparison that you made with Kelsey.
Yeah.
But it's like we lost that game ourselves. Like, it's the worst when you watch your team, whether you're a Colts fan and anything else fan, when you see your own team causing screw-ups that cost you the game. Like when you hit a kicker on a punt and you give them the possession back.
That game.
A touchdown, hit the kicker, like.
Oh my God.
The frustration.
Apparently, I'm not the only one that eats the Patriots.
Weeks now.
Yeah, it eats away at you because it's not like you had a great game and it was just like an epic struggle back and forth. It was based on like 2 or 3 penalties that you lost a game.
Yeah.
We've been doing it all season long.
We need to find a way to check our guns at the door on the way out to the field instead of shooting ourselves in the foot.
Well, at least you're not known for the butt punt.
Well, that's
true.
All right.
butt punt, butt fumble.
No, but we get Spygate. What are the other ones? Deflategate. Our balls were not inflated enough. It's just rough when you see your team lose a game themselves. Because your team is supposed to like minimize mistakes, but it's just like you have no time of possession, you have all the penalties, and last but not least, you have say you have coaching and quarterback out of sync. Like again, you guys know what we're going through. You guys have to deal with the Reich situation. So, like, God bless you guys. It's stressful watching football right now.
Yep.
Well, it's all football. I mean, look. As Colts fans, we complain about our offense, and it is the worst in the league right now, scoring wise.
No. Broncos. Broncos.
I corrected myself. Second worst.
Your world's better than the Broncos.
Yeah, but league wide offenses went down. League wide, scoring is down, yardage is down. It's not what it was 2 years ago or even last year.
Ref ball. Everyone is afraid to either make contact covering someone or they don't call it whatsoever, and we just have low scoring games. And our quarterback is trash. Sorry, just kidding, Matt. Just kidding. Mac is fine. He's just having a sophomore slump, but he is the reason we lost a couple of games.
Basil. All right, that's funny. Okay, so we got a couple Patriots fans in here right now, but here's the thing. Okay, it depends upon the Patriots fan, because they talk regular football. These guys do. Now you go out. It's just like any sport, any team. You know, you got your a-holes and you got your decent people that'll be regular. And I don't know how in the world Ross got in here being an a-hole, but it is what it
is. Absolutely.
He throws up backgrounds.
But here's the thing. As Patriots fans, we've always had a respect for the Colts because over the years, some of the matchups we've had, while they haven't been consistent, when it is, you mark the calendar.
Yeah.
The Colts have had some of the best games against the Patriots that, I just remember to this day. And the jawing back and forth between Colts and Patriots fans, it was always a blast.
That's one game. If it's on the season, that's the one game, like you said, you mark on the calendar and you look forward to it, regardless of what the teams are like. It's going to be a good game.
And Jim Irsay is absolutely hilarious. He just doesn't care. He doesn't care what your opinion is. He just does what he does.
He got the money and he got the team.
Thank you.
Is that a joke? Doyle was a tight end, not a fullback. The last time we signed a fullback was Roosevelt Nix off the Patriots, and I did a film room as soon as we signed him, and I was like, he is freaking god awful now. And then he was let go. Everybody was giving me hell over it, saying he's a Pro Bowler, he's an All-Pro, and I'm like, he's not now. He's awful. That's why Pittsburgh let him go. Look at the film. And then he didn't even last to the season. He got cut. And they were like, where did it happen? I was like, I tried to tell you why, in my film room, but it is what it is.
Is that the last time the Colts ever had a halfback or a fullback in that situation? Yeah.
Because tight ends or offensive linemen.
Yeah, because I just remember whenever I think fullback, I think of Devlin from the Patriots, one of my favorite players of all time. He didn't do he had some great plays, but he was just that guy who just blasted through the line and literally had that neck roll. You remember when players used to wear the neck roll? I wore one in high school. And you never see it anymore. You never see the neck roll anymore.
The only fullback that's in the league right now that I can think of is someone from the 49ers, number 44. I can't think of his name. It's Polish.
Begins with a K.
Pacheco?
Raiders has him.
No,
Raiders has one.
No.
He's with the
Raiders has our old one.
God, I can't believe it. It's weird. I can remember the number and not the last name.
Vander used to wear one.
Well, it's Polish. It's something with the ski.
Raiders has Jacob Johnson.
You're talking about Kyle Juszczyk.
Juszczyk.
That's it.
Yeah. Okay. No ski, a check. Okay, my bad.
Not a Pollock.
But yeah,
Juszczyk. I like
Kyle
Juszczyk.
Juszczyk's one of the best tight ends or fullbacks in football.
Yeah,
I'd love to have. He's one of those rare guys where I would waste a roster spot on a fullback for him. But
Moose.
Well, I'm saying today. I'm not saying that there isn't fullbacks in history that you go, oh yeah, I'd love to have it. There's plenty of them back in the day, but no one wants to play fullback anymore because it's not a glory position in the NFL.
And you don't make any money.
Being a right guard is more glory than being a fullback in the NFL today. It is what it is.
Being a long snapper's got more glory.
I know. Well, have you seen our long snapper? That dude is stacked.
But the problem is being a long snapper or a kicker. At the end of the day, your job comes down to 1 or 2 plays a game. There is no room for error, and you are like the villain right away. That's probably
absolutely.
Oh my God! Can you imagine getting called out? You're going to be the guy who either wins or loses the game.
Oh, we chucked Hot Rod after the first game. And I kind of hated that, but oh well.
McLaughlin hadn't done a bad job for us.
No, I don't really have any complaints with him at all. Not really.
Not yet.
So, what's your guys' take on the current situation, current ref ball situation in the NFL? Is it 2 hands off right now or 2 hands on? Where are we at right now?
Well, it's weird because in the Monday Night Football game, the referees were hands off. They just let them play. They wouldn't call jack unless it was utterly blatant. You know?
That's right.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But in other games, you see 20 freaking penalties called. You know,
it was sponsored by Tide, man. The game was sponsored by Tide.
I will
the
say
Eagles
this
game.
On the international games, there's hardly been any flags. And so I think that's by design.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
So this is something that the competition committee needs to really address this in the off season.
Yeah.
I mean, not just because of the international games, but that's a glaring point. It's like night and day if you look at the penalties. I mean, they're just non-existent in the
competition committee needs to look at
the Germany game.
Needs to roughing the passer. What the hell is roughing the passer? I mean, it's got to the point now where you touch them, and you know,
it's rough.
Unless, I mean, you could grab their face mask and yank their head around and not get a roughing.
Well, that's true. Well, that's if you're Matt Ryan, you can. That'll happen too.
We had that happen to Mac Jones recently.
Yeah.
There's been a few of them with the quarterbacks. Just here lately, there's been quite a few.
But if you're Tom Brady, unless you lay him down with a pillow, it's roughing the passer.
Exactly.
Thank you.
That's how I wasn't going to say that with 2 Patriots fans here.
About half the
bone ain't the China, my friend.
Pillow ain't gonna get it.
Yeah, you know that stuff breaks easy, Lawrence.
Doesn't matter. He's still on the field. He should be treated like anybody else, you know.
Do you think he's done after this year?
That's the chance you take for
I know.
You know, playing at the age of 96. You know,
Tom Brady is an egomaniac. He ain't retiring anytime soon.
I think he's already stated he's going to play next year too.
Is he going to
play?
play?
I think so too. Giselle's gone, man. Giselle's gone, man. He's up in that contract.
Yeah, he's gonna keep playing as long as he possibly can.
Because his money walked out the door.
Yeah, I should be sending him a check every month.
Giselle's got to send him a check every month, but hey, he don't care. He's gonna make some money on his side, man.
That's messed up.
Well, what about Rodgers? Is he done this year?
No.
He just needs a number 1 wide receiver.
He don't have much around him. That's his problem. You know, it's true. He ain't got much around him.
And that O-line is suffering.
Oh yeah, O-line's trash. They can't run
$50 million a year.
I don't.
And they won't run the ball. And they won't run the ball, for God's sake. They have a pretty good running back, and they won't run.
Yeah.
Aaron Jones is a good running back.
Jones is a good running back. Mm-hmm.
I was always shocked when I see how many runs they do a game. It's like pitiful. It was like when Ben Roethlisberger was running the Steelers. You just never saw them run the football.
It's true.
Well, the only Steelers running back I remember from back in those days is Le'Veon Bell.
Yeah.
Yes.
The only one you heard and saw him run. And
the only running back who really quit mid-season during a contract dispute.
Yeah. Goes to the Jets, his whole career ends, basically.
Yeah, he was never to be heard of from again.
Yeah.
I'm just glad I never have to hear one of his rap tracks ever again. Oh, that was brutal.
I don't know. Not as bad as watching Gronk wrestle. That's worse.
Okay, so you guys need to go and look at. Okay, so there's a difference between being a number 1 and being an X receiver. Okay, a number 1 is a guy that you go to all the time, like T.Y. Hilton was a number 1, but he wasn't an X receiver. You know, Tyreek Hill, is a number one, but he's not an X receiver. They're both Y receivers, right? If you want to know a little bit about that situation, go check out the video I dropped earlier today with Gerard, because I specifically asked him to explain that stuff out. Just because a guy is a number one target from a guy, don't make him the X receiver, right?
Yes.
There is a difference between being a number one and being an X, right? Because not all X's are number ones, right? So, when you're talking, and that's why you get a little bit of arguments from people when you say, well, he's not a number one. Well, you could be a number one and not be an X. If you're saying he's not an X receiver, then maybe you're absolutely right. A Y receiver is a guy that can move around the field, go into motion, do stuff to try to get open and get better situation for them, better matchups. Whereas an X generally sits on the same spot all the time on the outside, because he's a big bodied guy who can catch a 50-50 ball. That's an X receiver. And then your slot is generally your smaller guy who's not afraid to go over the middle, game in and game out, and use their speed.
Julian Edelman is a perfect example of that.
The Colts, the Colts and the Patriots have been known for their slot receivers for years. So
absolutely,
it's always value in having a sneaky wide receiver.
Also, when Matt was talking about Green Bay needing a number one receiver, that was a joke. He's teasing somebody in the Discord. They don't know.
Yes, brother. I am.
It's a joke within our group, because there's a guy in the group. All his insight, if you ask him to give you an insight on the team, that's what he says. They just need a number one wide receiver for all 32 teams. That's all he says. And so Matt's teasing that guy, and he did his voice pretty good. So.
It's more of a inside joke than it.
Yeah, there you go.
And I told him you don't.
But yeah, I'm actually, man, it's you know how difficult it is to be proud of your team when 2 out of 3 position groups do really, really good and the third one doesn't. Because generally, if you got 2 out of 3 doing really, really good, you're a winning football team. Our defense and our special teams has been absolutely amazing, but our offense has been so bad that it's hard to be proud of the team,
They don't make it easy for you. It reminds me of the Patriots from the 90s and the 80s. It's like you're almost there, but you're not.
Yeah.
Oh, I do have something about this Cowboys game coming up. I had a guy at the grocery store said something to me because I was wearing my Colts hat, and he said, "Oh, aren't you proud to be a Colts fan?" I said, "Well, yeah, I am. I always have been proud, whether they win or lose." I said, "But I tell you what, how proud are you going to be if we sneak up and beat you guys this next week?" Oh, it shut him up. Absolutely shut him up. Hey,
I am proud.
Like we got nothing to lose. And that makes us very dangerous. I'll go back to the movie. It makes us dangerous because we got nothing to lose. Absolutely nothing to lose.
Man, I'm sorry. Russell Wilson has utterly destroyed that term. Dangerous. I can't use it.
Oh yeah.
Well, he's dangerous, all right.
He's dangerous.
He's dangerous to his own team. He's dangerous.
He's destroyed a couple terms this year.
Broncos fans, could be worse. Could be Rams fans.
Yeah, the Rams are going to be going into a dark age soon. Sorry.
Yeah, very dark.
This whole season's just been off the wall. I mean, teams win when you don't think they stand a chance. It's just, you can't predict. You can't predict week from week who's going to win.
I mean, you look. Okay, so like last week, I brought this up to the guys and on Believe, and I was like, look at the 3-7 teams right now. they're all teams that we were thinking had a shot at winning their division at the beginning of the year.
Yep.
All the
Yep.
3-7 teams from last week. You know, the Rams were 3-7 last week. The Raiders were 3-7 last week. The Broncos were 3-7 last week. Who was there was another team that was 3-7, and all of them were we all looked at them and go, they really have a legit shot at winning their division, but they've been utterly, good Lord, look what's going on. It's crazy.
Well, look at the AFC West. Everybody thought the AFC West was going to be the powerhouse of the league.
Mm-hmm. And it's just one team again.
Yep.
Because not even the Chargers are living up to expectations.
No. Not even close.
Nope.
Oh, yeah. I mean, again, they're having their quarterback struggles right now because it's hard dealing with a guy who, for every touchdown he gets, he almost gets a pick,
Yeah, that's true enough. And who at the beginning of the year thought that the NFC East was going to be the powerhouse division in the NFL? Them and the AFC East. I mean, really,
Nobody.
Yeah, I think it comes down to there's some very specific talents that gelled at just the perfect time. Like I always thought Jefferson on Minnesota was a great wide receiver. I never really had much faith in Kirk Cousins, but they had a connection, and all of a sudden they're tearing up the league.
But
they're 9-2.
But you think of Minnesota, but who thought Dallas was going to come in Minnesota's butt 40 to whatever it was? I mean, 40-3. So who was thinking that was going to happen? I didn't.
Yeah, but the Cowboys Seattle? Always choke in the playoffs, so I'm really not too concerned about them.
I'm never worried about them, but
I think it's okay. Hold on, Scott's going to ask us for everybody. I think everybody's going to have the same answer. I mean, you got to have best offensive line play, I think, in order to start improve to win for the Colts. You just got to have offensive line play. But hey, Scott in here drops a YouTube super chat. I appreciate that.
Thanks for the super chat. Yeah,
$5 awesome. Here says I was born in Indy, and this chat is my people. Appreciate you, man. Thanks so much. You know what I did not do? I did not go and check out my donation link to make sure I didn't have anyone dropping money there, and I haven't. Okay. Well, I just wanted to make sure of that. So, guys, if you want to use the donation link that's in the top of the description, I appreciate the YouTube super chat, Scott, but the donation link you could drop to help support the channel as well, and I get like 95% of that rather than like 50% from YouTube. So just let you know. But this is what we do every Wednesday when there's not a holiday. We come in, we hang out, we talk, and you can join too. It's only $5 a month. You get early access to my Believe in Colts stuff. All 3 episodes for the week drop on Tuesdays before even the first one drops for YouTube, and a bunch of other stuff. So $5 a month, I think that's fair. I think that's
it was worth the $5 a month to get to watch Gilly on your show. To have Stephon Gilmore, that was awesome.
Absolutely.
That was awesome.
I think speaking of which, the whole PayPal is going to give me a day's grace because I don't have $5 in my checking account right now. I won't until the 2nd.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine. I hope so too. I mean, if you need to, just back out and come back in.
Well, like I said, PayPal will give me a day. I don't know.
It'll change your date that you pay though, if you do that now, because I changed it now. It charges you when you go in, when you first come back in. So
well, that'd be good.
I had to do that because there were so many people that would come in on the 2nd and then leave on the 30th.
Right.
And I'm like, are you kidding me? That's some dirty shit right there.
Well, Scott, by the way, if you're listening, I'm not from Indy, actually, but my whole family from Baltimore, so I've been a Colts fan all my life, and I'm a Colts fan.
That's all that matters.
You know, they can go play in Timbuktu as long as they got a blue horseshoe on their helmet. I'm a Colts fan.
And I don't see the Colts leaving Indy anytime soon.
I don't either.
No, they better not.
But Loyalist couldn't be here tonight. I don't know exactly why. He didn't tell me why. He just sent me a text and said, "Hey, I won't be able to make it." And then I told him I hope everything's good, but he hasn't replied, so that's not a good sign. So everybody's thoughts and prayers with Loyalist and his family. Hopefully everything's good there.
Wishing the best of luck.
Yep. But
definitely.
It is the holiday seasons. I know a lot of people, this is not necessarily a happy time for them. So keep an eye on people. If you're having a hard time, feel free. Reach out to me on social media or drop comments or something. We're all here. We're a family, and we'll be here for you no matter what. And if you know someone that is a friend or family that you know has a hard time during this time of the year, just remind them that you are there for them if they need you, even if it's just to talk and hang out. Because my wife has a hard time right now because of certain people passing on, during this time of the year. So
mine's going to be kind of new because I've never dealt with what I've dealt with like I've had this year. And I was just thinking earlier before we got on the line. I'm thinking I'm supposed to go up to Hot Springs for Christmas. I'm thinking very carefully about maybe delaying that until after the first of the year because of everything that's happened to me this year. I'm ready for 2022 to get the hell out. And I'm thinking if I just stay hunkered down in the house, I'll survive until 2023, and then I can take a road trip. That's all I need to do is have a complete car accident or some crap on the way up. I don't. This year.
Well, if you're going to go on a car trip and you're worried about that, I should give you my phone number so you could just call me and leave it sitting while you're driving.
There you go.
Not actually have it in your hand. Just set it in the passenger seat. And we can just sit and chat while you're driving down the road.
Yeah, we could all take turns talking to Jack. Here we go.
Right.
Look, like I said, this is all weird to me. I've been married 4 times, okay, but the 4 times that I've been married is covered what most people that get married right out of college or out of high school and they stay married their whole lives. Well, I managed to get 4 marriages in basically in the same compact form. Because I've only since 1976 when I got married the first time. I've only basically been single for a year.
Wow.
Yeah, it's kind of strange, but that's the way it is. So I'm not used to, not having a wife and that kind of, a wife of some kind around this time of year and stuff. I'm not sure. Today was the first day things started I started feeling things. I'm like, I'm not sure I like this.
I'm trying to feel feelings.
I'm ready for this year to be over. Just go.
I understand.
This thing with the Colts was supposed to be my happy time, and it's hasn't been a happy time,
I hear you, Jack.
I don't want to be stressed. I don't want to football season. I don't want to be stressed.
Well, maybe they'll give you something to, a surprise on Sunday night.
Hey, shit.
America wins when the Cowboys lose. Okay.
That'd be a double win for you, wouldn't it, Jack? I mean,
it would. I'd go to the damn grocery store 5 times a day, every day for a week.
My great Christmas gift.
Oh, yeah, that would be. That would be.
But
we also.
Yep, go ahead.
Guys.
I was just going to say we also have the Discord, and usually there's somebody always in there in the voice chat. And so, like, if somebody's having problems and you just want to hang out with some guys that I mean, it's just like this, like we have going on here, but but we don't just focus on football. You know, we talk about everything like food.
If you want to hang out with some dudes, you know,
yeah, if you want to hang out with some dudes, and but yeah, it's a good place to go if you ever want to chat. And
it's like Cheers.
We've been trying to get you in there for a long time. Yeah, it's like Cheers without the alcohol. Yeah, bring your own bottle.
We're having a big disagreement, so I don't know if I'll ever get on there again.
Yeah. Guys, I am feeling bad about this, but my stomach, I'm surprised that I heard the roar and I thought that was my stomach because it was gurgling at the exact same time. So I'm going to probably have to get off of here. It's almost been 2 hours. I wish, again, this is a situation where if my co-host was here, he could continue the stream going, but, you know, I'm sorry.
It is what it is.
We had a lot of good talk though, about 2 hours worth of discussions, and I thought this was pretty good. Again, you was talking, Doc, about Discord. That's you're right. That is a great place for people just to hang out and at any time. Usually, heck, people are there now in the mornings here in the U.S. Because you know the soccer playoff,
the World Cup is going on. Yeah,
World Cup. Yeah, that's what it's called. I don't follow it, so I don't even remember what it's called half the time. So I'm like it's the soccer playoffs.
Hey, I'm hoping for you guys to crush the Cowboys' dreams of a playoff run. Okay, that's my best wishes are with you guys.
Thank you.
And have happy holidays.
Absolutely. Well,
Cowboys losing, then holidays.
Hopefully we'll be able to see each other again before the holiday season kicks in. Near the end of the month. We got a couple weeks before then. But if I don't see any of you again, happy holidays, Merry Christmas. I'm tired of people saying you can't say Merry Christmas. Merry freaking Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Happy holidays.
I mean, if you're Jewish, hey, happy Hanukkah too. I don't care. Whatever it is, Ramadan, whatever it is, that's fine. But I'm Christian,
Festivus.
So Merry freaking Christmas.
Yeah,
I'm celebrating Festivus this year for the rest of us.
Yeah, make it. Yeah, when the Colts win, it'll be a Festivus miracle.
Now someone's got to wrestle before the holiday ends.
All right, guys, I'm jumping off here. I'm going to end the broadcast, like the live stream part of it. So, Toxic, sorry, guy, James, Basil, Anthony, ATV, appreciate all of you. Thanks for being in here and talking, hitting the like button, all that neat stuff. We will see you again later. And until next time, I'm Lawrence Owen with Tom, Jack, Dick, Harry, and Doc.
Yes. Yes.
Have a good one.